Welcome back. Well, September is Suicide Awareness Month, and here to talk about crisis mental health resources right here in the 716 is Carol Winkler of Brylin Hospital. Carol, thanks so much for coming in.
Chelsea, thank you for having me.
Okay, let's get right into it. Like I mentioned, September is Suicide Awareness Month, and the statistics are kind of staggering when you look
They
back.
sure are. It's unfortunately, suicide, especially among youth, is a national public health crisis. Basically, now suicide is the second leading cause of death in children ages 10 to 24 in the United States. And this is about a 60% increase over the past 2 decades. Worldwide, over 800,000 people die yearly from suicide, and that's about one person every 40 seconds.
It is a difficult subject to talk about, but
Sure is.
it's necessary.
It definitely is, and we really have to break down the stigma that's associated talking about mental health, especially suicide. We have to promote these conversations between parents, children, school, teachers, mental health professionals. We have to feel more comfortable talking about this serious topic.
And you said a lot of staggering statistics, but those aren't old, right? Those statistics.
They're increasing, they're worsening, unfortunately. We would hope that things would be getting better, but they're not. So I think we really have to work more at preventative measures than we have been.
Who is most likely to be affected by this?
Suicide affects all populations. That's the sad part of it. It doesn't matter. Right now, we do see more girls try to commit suicide and more boys or men are successful at committing suicide.
And the common theme here is underlying mental health issues, right?
I'd say suicide is very complex. There's multiple causative factors, and we do find that untreated mental health challenges such as anxiety, depression, and substance abuse do contribute, but there are other risk factors also.
Can you tell me and the viewers about some warning signs to look at?
Sure. So again, sometimes you do see warning signs. So sometimes parents will come into the hospital and they say, you know, I noticed my children was acting different. They were self-isolating. They were withdrawing from their activities. They quit basketball. They were more irritable. They were talking about death. So at times there are warning signals, but for every time there are, at times there are not. So we've had some parents came in and they said, you know, he went to school, he went to football practice, we went to eat, we were laughing and joking. And then at nighttime he tried to overdose, you know, on pills. So again, we want to obviously look for those warning signs, but also realize that sometimes they're not always evident.
Why is it so important to reduce the stigma about talking about suicide?
Because that's how we're going to be better at preventing it. If we have these open conversations, people are very hesitant to talk about suicide because they feel, well, if I bring up the topic, am I going to motivate someone to actually carry out suicide? And we know that is definitely not true. These conversations actually can give someone reassurance that someone cares about them, that there are alternative solutions as opposed to committing suicide.
And let's talk about the benefits of promoting mental wellness.
Yes, this is so important, and we can never forget that we need to continue to promote mental wellness, such as exercise, mindfulness, creative outlets, doing things with your children at home, such as eating dinner together can be a great way to converse. Going to like an art store and having a painting night, doing different things that you wouldn't normally do are really great activities to promote mental wellness.
And how does someone's online life play a factor in this?
Unfortunately, there are a lot of really unsafe online platforms out there. You would be amazed how many parents will come in and say, I didn't realize what my child was doing online until I looked. They will put blocks up there thinking that they're safe now because they have parental blockers. Unfortunately, children are very tech savvy. They know how to undo the blocks, and they get into some really unsafe sites. So we really encourage parents to monitor what their child is doing online.
And talk to me more about what Brylin is doing to get the word out about mental wellness and suicide prevention.
Well, we are, again, we're active in on September 23rd, there will be it's called Out of the Darkness. It's a suicide prevention walk in Canalside, so we're also working on that. We do a lot of different awareness campaigns. We're doing, actually, the person with me is doing something with a art contest for suicide awareness this month through Brylin Hospital. And we're always doing like advertisements on radio and TV to promote mental wellness, hopefully, so people do not have to utilize our services.
And some of the most important things are resources. So tell us viewers how they can get the resources that you guys have.
Yes, one of the most important resources, if you are worried about your child, to call. There's so many resources. And many times people will say, I feel all alone. I don't know what to do. So one thing to remember is there's the 988 suicide prevention hotline. You can call 24/7. And if you feel your child's at risk to talk to someone, your child can also talk to that person. There's something called CARE's Spectrum Crisis Team who can come to your house. At Brylin Hospital, we offer services if you feel your child needs more intensive inpatient care. There are multiple resources, so we do not want people to feel that they are alone.
Absolutely. Carol, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And talking about this hard topic, because like we said, it's hard to talk about, but it's important because
Definitely.
it's preventative. It
Yes.
can be.
Yes.
Well, viewers, you can learn more about Brylin's Hospital crisis mental health care for all ages by calling 716-866-8200, by finding them on Twitter at Brylin Health, Facebook at Brylin Hospital, Instagram at Brylin Hospital, or by going over to their website, brylin.com. Thanks again for coming in.
Thank you.